Welcome to DHN. I'm your host, Wade Teamer. In this video, we're talking all things XDC network. And as you can see by the headline above me, guys, XDC has made Bitcoin an ISO coin. Wow. I can't believe it either. But I also have some more news for you. We're going to revisit this TradeTech development and the issuance of securities tokens on the XDC network, as well as digitized gold being issued on the XDC network. And this particular story, guys, ties into a bit of a theory that I have on XDC network. We'll save it for the end, but let's just jump right into the first piece of information, guys, because this, as you can see, hit the presses this morning. Impel adds Bitcoin to its ISO financial messaging on the XDC network. Boy, oh boy. Now, real quick, before we start, I just want to say that this is what I tried to tell you guys would happen. All right, the ISO token list is not by any means definitive. The ISO messaging standards are what's definitive, and the tokens that can create compatibility with these standards can be considered ISO tokens. That is why I was telling you guys, crypto.com ISO token, VeChain is an ISO token, and now thanks to XDC, Bitcoin is an ISO coin, guys. Impel is pleased to announce that Bitcoin has been added to its ISO 222 financial messaging API as optional collateral for making payments. Whoa. This addition enables BTC to be used in the instant settlement process for traditional banking services and other organizations that utilize the new ISO 222 messaging standard. You're joking with me, Yahoo Finance. Other organizations? You should have put down all the organizations, because we know, guys, you search ISO on YouTube, you're gonna find me, okay? This is our subject. It offers the opportunity for improved customer experience, increased security, and significant savings in operating costs, reducing the amount of global trade to less than 1%. The technology industry futures lies on a broad range of techniques that allow blockchains to communicate with one another. The transfer of digital assets and data between one blockchain to another is referred to as cross-chain compatibility, something that, thanks to OneChain, we know XDC does very well. Interoperable bridges play a crucial role in providing these robust options for desired digital assets. Through its collaboration with DIMO and OneChain, Impel's user base can now move BTC from its native network to the XDC network as a wrapped digital asset called XBTC. Now, what's so funny about that, guys, is when you look at BTC on certain markets, that's the ticker symbol it already has. It's either that or XTC, which I always found weird, but now I have a deeper understanding. So both DIMO and OneChain aim to make the blockchain ecosystem completely interoperable, one bridge at a time. Now, we don't even need to go into the rest of this information because it just details what OneChain does. But the big thing to take away from this, guys, is Bitcoin now is ISO compliant. Bitcoin can be used in the new ISO messaging format. If this doesn't show you that cryptocurrencies are the future of financial transactions, you're in the wrong place. But guys, we'll just let that settle. Okay, we'll let that sink in and we'll jump over to this next story. TradeTech to issue trade finance securities tokens on the XDC public blockchain. Now, securities have been a very hot topic recently. You know, the whole SEC versus Coinbase situation, them going after AMP, LCX, XYO, Rally, a number of other, Power Ledger, I was shocked to see was in that list too. But with that, guys, I have been doing more study and more reading, and I'm learning that crypto securities might not necessarily be a bad thing, especially with the way that XDC is positioning themselves. All right, now let's get into this piece of information. On Monday, trade finance startup TradeTech announced plans to launch TradeTech tokens, which are regulated securities tokens backed by trade finance receivables. Now, one of the biggest criteria for the SEC determining whether a crypto is a security is the asset that is backed by. In this situation, these security tokens are regulated. You can verify that they are backed by trade finance information, which is what the trade finance receivables are referring to. Now, the fungible asset-backed tokens will be launched on the XDC public chain. In September of last year, this collaboration was initially started with the issuance of non-fungible tokens backed by trade finance assets. Now, by investing in trade finance, which historically has been restricted to banks and larger institutional investors, private investors can now invest in the real economy. This is coming from the chief financial officer and co-founder of TradeTech, guys, and I want you to keep this piece here in mind. Private investors can now invest in the real economy. Earlier this month, TradeTech launched their Access Lite platform, which will enable buy-side investors to participate in the secondary market for trade finance assets. And that's another thing that I learned too, guys. The assets, the tokens that we trade and invest in, that's on the secondary market. We're on the secondary market, which is why they use that word. However, the primary market is where securities move. And what TradeTech is looking to do, and we all know that XDC is a master of trade finance, what they're now looking to do is open these investment channels to the everyday investor like me and you, which also ties into the whole Coinbase SEC situation, because if you watch that video that I did on the entire thing, I explain how Coinbase might be urging the SEC to establish guidelines for a crypto securities market. XDC is building a platform for tokenized securities or securities tokens. It's something I think that we won't see manifest until not later this year, but will be in the swing of 2023. In the spring of 2023, excuse me, once we start to hear about this again. But TradeTech has existing solutions that digitize the trade finance process. It also founded the Trade Finance Distribution Initiative, which is a global initiative that is aiming to standardize trade finance assets. Members include many of the world's major trade finance banks in the European, Middle East, and African region, and Asia, such as HSBC, ING, and Standard Chartered. This is a global movement here, a global initiative, and that's very important to keep in mind, guys, because when we jump into this next story, it's going to get us closer to that XDC theory that I mentioned in the beginning. Now, Dubai-based fintech firm enables digitized gold, and of course it's on the XDC network. Now, this news came out a minute ago, but I kind of just sat on it because I wanted to digest it. Because previous to this, there was another story that came out, something out of Uganda. Okay, we'll get to it in a second. But co-founder of Zenfin Network, Ritesh Kakad, tweeted out that Comtech Gold is redefining the tokenization infrastructure, pretty much how we tokenize assets. By digitizing gold using the XDC blockchain, the new functionality will provide both organizational and retail communities with the ability to obtain electronic gold. Now, let's just jump back really quick to the previous article and go back to what was stated by the CFO of TradeTech. Private investors can now invest in the real economy. That's the same thing as retail communities, guys. When they say the retail investor, they're talking about me and you, okay? With this platform, now we can invest in forms of digital gold. That is significant for a number of reasons. Not only because of the fact you have like Tether has gold-backed assets, and then of course there's Paxos and Pax Gold. Right now, it's just those two dominating the digital gold market, which is still, even amongst them two, doing multiple billions of dollars. Okay? Now, I'm not a gold bug, but I am aware that gold is scarce. Well, it was up until about July 5th. It was July 5th when the Ugandan government found 31 metric tons of gold, which is ready to be mined. And the first to mine it will be a Chinese-owned firm. Now, here's my theory, okay? If XDC is a master in trade finance, right? Specifically, securities tokens backed by real world assets. And they also have the ability to tokenize gold, which is a real world asset. And previous to July 5th, the amount of gold on Earth was less than that number provided. So now the gold market has been doubled, and XDC is developing a platform to allow the everyday investor to get involved. So what I think is going to happen here is XDC not only building out ISO routes, okay, they're going to build out the digital gold market, because all of this gold is going somewhere. Now, I'll leave a link down to this article in the episode guide, of course, so you can read through it yourself, but you'll see that a large motivation from Uganda is to get this gold into the global economy as fast as they possibly can, okay? And that means that they're also going to hopefully distribute it throughout Africa, but the majority of the work will come from outside firms. The important thing to take away from here is XDC having the ability to do just that. Okay, that's why I was so excited to give you this information, guys. Now, if this theory is a bit far-fetched, of course, let me know down in the comments. I really look forward to hearing from you guys. From what I'm seeing here, from the pieces that are being laid, and then you add this on top of it, come on now, we could be seeing a world where digital gold is being moved around, you know, on the XDC blockchain, and people are buying it with Bitcoin. It's a lot. We're still early in this industry, guys, but I am just merely here to help you connect the dots. So if you found value in this content, guys, of course you know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe, and please leave a comment letting us know how you feel about today's content. If you're holding XDC, if my theory was just some harebrained thing that I just came up with, let me know. Interested in finding out. And while you're doing that, of course, don't forget to check out these two videos here, XDC and Impel, and also the ISO delay might not be as bad as you think. While you're watching that, guys, I want you to have a great day, have a prosperous day, and most importantly, if the money is digital, so is the hustle. I'll see you in the next video.